Hey everyone. So yeah, this finale to the Death Row Prisoners arc was kind of fucking insane. Like it wasn't even like anything big or it wasn't even anything that like special that this arc did end it off on, but rather just a very quiet quiet and somber note in a way because the you know this chapter was very this chapter for the most part was very action oriented with just a whole back and forth left and right of Uzuki and Gaku trying to escape while having to fend off Sakamoto, while having to fend off Taro and Takamura, and until basically Uda stepped in and acted as a distraction in order to allow them to escape. And but that's the thing. Even though it's very action heavy, it's like just the pure chaos and insanity of all of this happening at one time. Just both sides struggling to kind of just really gain the upper hand or find that opening, or Uzuki and Gaku trying to find that opening to escape. It created this very high tense situation for me, and yeah, ultimately, like just the fact that just the fact that Uda himself had to sacrifice himself in order to give Uzuki the opening to escape. It shows that yeah, it wasn't that this wasn't for as skilled as Uzuki is, this wasn't an easy fight for him. He was running on fumes, and and for and now as far as the as far as the big explosion itself that was supposedly quote unquote killed Takamura, I am I am familiar. I am somewhat familiar that he does live a little bit longer than this. So yeah, I know he's not dead, but I will say this too, that the fact that Takamura is going to had lived to survive that is again impressive. Of the fact that even for like I I know this is basically one of those like superhuman kind of situations, but the fact that someone who, even though he is very skilled, someone as old as Takamura managed to survive that, it's like, yeah, that old man, he's something different. He's built different, all that shit. Like I got nothing, I got nothing else to say. Like the fact that Takamura is gonna live a little longer past this, like. Yeah, yeah, Takamura, he's something different. Um, but yeah, but again, going along with that whole just that whole feeling of tension I was talking about. One thing that I do like about this chapter is e- even though is with Uzuki getting away, the chapter basically ends on a somber note of saying, quote unquote, September XX to 2000XX, 176 dead, 3 injured, 1 missing. Half a year after the onset of Slur's assassination purge, the number of professional assassins in Japan dropped to a quarter. So, yeah, that's another thing about this chapter that I love there's not is that at the end of the day, even though he escaped, Uzuki still succeeded in a lot of ways. His whole like he is succeeding in his plan, and like at some point you also got to ask the question when I think in the aftermath of this there's going to be a large there's going to be a crackdown but by the JA that they're going to start like before I'm not saying they weren't taking it seriously, but I think they underestimated Uzuki at this point. But now that they're going to start taking him seriously as a threat, and it's going to be interesting to see where Taro fits in this equation he because it start as I think beyond this point, I think Taro is gonna have, again. I said this before, but I think Taro's gonna have to realize that he's not strong enough yet in order to fully face Uzuki, but he's also gonna have to, I think, in some ways, start to contend, or gonna feel like he's gonna start competing with the JA itself in order to take down Uzuki. Like with the fact that Uzuki and Taro themselves like share a history with each other, that in itself, it kind of puts Taro more in that space of like it's a personal mission for him to take down Uzuki now, but that's gonna contend with having to probably deal with the JA, who are gonna start cracking down on on uh on stopping Uzuki. So it's like it's gonna be a pretty much a three-way chase of who can take a three-way chase of who can take down who first, and who's gonna strike the first blow. And because it was with that message at the end of this chapter, like Uzuki's gonna feel emboldened. He's going to up he's gonna up his the ante. He's gonna go after larger targets, larger masses of the JA assassins. Like, yeah, man's basically is gonna go on a full on killing spree at this point. And yeah, it really is a question of who can stop Uzuki at this point. Like what how do you stop someone like this, who's just completely committed to his cause and has the conviction to pull it off. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. I'm on Blue Sky, Analyst Crunchyroll. Be sure to push the subscribe button and just share the video, guys. Dark Knight of the Night signing off. Later, everyone.